Hi everyone, welcome back to DevLab. If you are new here, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more practical PHP tutorials and web development content. In this video, we are starting a brand new series where I will teach you all the essential PHP skills step by step. By the end, you will know how to build a fully functional CRUD system using PHP and MySQL. Open control panel of SAM. Make sure you click start button. That green indicator means the SAM is running perfectly. Second, open your browser, type localhost / phpMyAdmin. Click enter. That is our PHP MyAdmin, where we manage our database and tables. New database, I name it CRUD. Create, then create your table. I name it my table in staff. It will contain 6 columns. That is the column names of your database. Type of that column. Integer, if it integer means number, varchar means characters or string. My first is id will be integer or number, and I check how to increment. Make it primary key means unique. Second column, location, name of the employee, of the staff. Email, name will be varchar, email will be varchar, and the length will be 50. Next, I will need location. It will varchar 50 characters. Next, we will need phone number of the employees. Phone number will be integer, and date created at when we register an employee. Created at will be date, and default, as a default, it will be current timestamp. Current timestamp means your system date. Okay, we save our table. Now we create our table successfully. Now let us connect our PHP to the database. Open your folder, C drive, SAM, open HT docs. Then that place, create your project name, staff. Then close that window. Open your text editor. I will use VS Code. Open your project. It is inside C drive, SAM, HTDocs. That is our folder. Now I make a file, bb.php. I need that folder to create my connection. I open PHP. I need a PHP function called MySQL connect. That's a PHP function. Local host is a default host name. I need username of that host. Root. Empty string means not have a password. And the last, I type my database name. Make sure your database name. My database name is CRUD. I need a variable that store the connection function. Now I will check if if my connection is working perfectly. Exclamation mark means not connection, echo connection failed, else echo disconnection successfully, connection successfully. Open your browser, type localhost, your folder name. What's your folder name? My folder name is stuff, and then your file name. My file name is db.php. You see, you see the result. Connection successfully. First, we will need to start our Apache server. Both we need Apache and MySQL. Then we will need to open our text editor. I am using VS Code. I will, that's our connection. I will create a file. I name it form.php. Then type HTML. Choose HTML column 5. I type the title of our registration form. Registration form. Then I will open my browser. Type localhost slash staff. Where is staff? Staff our folder name. Then we will type our file name slash form.php form.php. That is our title. Registration form, our title of our page. Body of the page is empty. Type form. Then it has a method of post. We will need to post data into database. Action will be form.php. Then we will need inputs. Input, it has a name of name. Input, it has a name. So let's we see our database. Local host slash php, and that's our database CRUD, and that is our table. Name, we need columns like name, email, location, name, email, location, and phone number. At last we need phone number. Let's we see what we will create. Save, then refresh. That's our inputs, and then we need a button. Register, it has a name attribute. Register, we will need to design our form. Our form is look like very ugly, so that we need to style it our form. The easiest way is to use Bootstrap CDN. Go to the official site of Bootstrap. That's the official site, and take that CDN link. Take it, put it, put it into the upper title. So you see that the text, it will change. To style that inputs, it's very easy. Only use the classes of Bootstrap. Use form dash control C. You see that you need a container. Container creates padding and centers your content. Container. You see, you see the result. Container makes a padding and centers your elements. Copy, buttons use class named btn. btn, then the color you need. I need success. That's a green. Our form is look like very beautiful. We need a margin. Inside the class, type margin bottom 3 and copy. Okay, we see. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Our input is very long, so that I need a width, class. Okay, go to the container and type width 50%. Now, let us write the PHP code to insert form data into database. Open PHP tag and close. You need to include your database connection. Include your connection file. Type your connection file db.php. Then write if is set function. If it clicked post, what is clicked? Is clicked register. Post from form into database. Name, email, location, and phone. You need to store that data into a variable. Now we need some validations. We use if empty the name field and empty the email field. If not empty, sorry, I need to use not. Then run SQL command. Insert into what's your table name? My database is CRUD and my table is staff. Type here the columns of that table: name, email, location, and last phone. What values you need to insert database? That's the values. You need a comma. Else, if that field is empty, that field is are empty, you need to display an error. Run that SQL command. Run. I make a variable, then I need a function called MySQL query. Then I need a connection and SQL that variable. Let me check. Ahmed Osman. Ahmed at location London and phone number. You see, we insert successfully. Open your text editor, then we need to create our file list.php. Then open PHP tag and close. I need to type a SQL command that fetches data from MySQL. Select all from your table. My table is staff as a small letter. Then we need to run out our SQL command. I need a variable run. Then we need a method that runs that SQL command. MySQL query. I need a connection, then SQL. We need to include the connection file, that file. Include bb.php. We need to generate a HTML skeleton. HTML5. Enter. Staff date. We need to take a link in a Bootstrap official site. Visit Bootstrap official site, then take that link. Then we need to make our Bootstrap table. If it has a class of container, then we need a table class of table hover. Then we need th table row times 6. First is ID. Our database column is ID name, email, ID name, email, location, phone number, location and phone number. We will need a date that created the staff. At the last, actions will be a buttons, edit button and delete button. After that, we will check what we make. List, type here the file name. That's our table. It looks very good. Margin top 5. Then I need to make T body. Then T body. I need to fetch data here. Open PHP and close. While I make a while loop inside the practice, I will type row MySQL fetch a sock. Then we put here that variable from. After that, we need to close that while loop. Close the PHP tag. Then open another PHP tag. Inside the while loop, I need to fetch data and write HTML, ed, open PHP and close that row. I take that row. We need a column. We fetched that column, ID, semicolon, and we forgot equal. We forgot table row, tr. Save, refresh. Okay, then we need to copy that, paste. We need to change that inside the square brackets. Name that inside the square brackets. Name, email, we put name, we put here database columns, email, location, location, phone, and we need date, that column created at we will check. Okay, we have that 3 rows and we fetched that table. At the last, we need to add that actions. We need buttons, edit and delete buttons. TD, it has a airtag. It has a class of btn primary, means blue button. Edit, and we need delete button. It's a danger. First, let's create a new file, edit.php. Then we need a form. I will copy, put here. I will change that registration to edit and the button to edit. And name attribute will be edit. We will visit edit. We need to change that border. I add a new border. Border secondary. Copy, then paste. Save. Refresh. We add P. We need, when we click that button, we go the edit form. Go list.php. Then that's the button. Then we type edit.php. When we click that button, go that file, edit.php. Let's check. Perfect. Then we need, when we click that button, we take that ID. Open PHP and close. Echo row. We need to fetch the ID, semicolon. Refresh, click, we take the ID, but we got some error. Question mark, ID is equal that PHP. Save, edit. Very good. We take the ID. We need at the bottom of the file to type PHP core, include the db.php. Then I need a SQL command, simple SQL command. Select all from staff table where ID is equal. Where ID is equal that ID, so that we get that ID. We need to get that ID. ID, I make a variable ID is equal that get ID. Save. We need to run that variable. Run, I make a variable, I name it run. Then I need a function MySQL query, and I put here a connection and SQL. We need to fetch data so that I will create while loop. Inside the practice, I type a variable row, then I type MySQL fetch a sock. I put here that variable from row. I make a variable id is equal row id, then copy, change that names. Name then will be name. Name, we need location and phone. Refresh. We need we need to take that data and we display it in this form so that I will add every input a value. Then open PHP and close echo name, that variable, that that name. Save, refresh, you will see. Mohan Kumar. Copy that value and put every input. Let me check what we make. Refresh, click edit button. You will see we take their name. Okay, we change that name, email, location, and phone. Save, refresh, edit. Something went wrong. We fetch email. We fetch email now. We need to edit that date. When we change something, I will make a new file, update, open PHP and close. If is set post edit button. We add a hidden input. Input type is hidden. It has a name of ID and I fetch the ID. ID is equal post then that name. Take that name. Copy and paste. Change that variable. Let me check my database. Localhost / php That's my database is CRUD and that's my table. It has a name, email, location. Put here your database columns: ID, name, email, and location. And the last will be phone number. I type a SQL command: update table name. My table is staff. Update staff set name is equal to that name. Copy and paste, comma. Email is equal that email. Location is equal to that location. Phone is equal phone. Where ID equal that ID. I run my SQL. I create a variable run my SQLi query. I need a connection and that SQL command. Let me include the connection. db.php. At the last, we check if it is true, if that SQL is working, if one is true. Echo updated successful and go or redirect list.php. Location will be list.php. Else stay your edits.php. Let me check. Refresh. Click edit button. We forgot something. Save. Then the action will occur that update. That command is inside the value, and that will be ID, only ID. That's very good. Okay, I change the location and I replace it. You see, we will update our data. John Doe. You see, first I need to create a new file. Delete.php and then go to list or your table. That's the delete button. We need, when we click the delete button, go that delete page so that I type delete that file name delete.php. Then I need to get ID. semicolon. Let we check, refresh, delete. We take the ID. That ID is number one. When we click, we take the ID. Okay, open your delete file, then open PHP tag and close. First, we need an ID. We need to get the ID. Second, I will type a SQL command. Delete capital letters. Delete all from stuff. What's our table name? CRUD, our database, and our table is stuff. Right, stuff. Where ID is equal that ID. We need to run our command. MySQL query. I need a connection and SQL. We need to include the connection. Include db.php, that file. Let's check our table. Save, refresh. I need to delete number 2. An error occur. Oh, not all from. Delete from. The right SQL command is delete from. Save, get back, refresh, test. We need to check if that command is working perfectly. If else, if is right, that run is working perfectly, go to list.php. Else, go to delete location delete.php. Save, refresh. Let's check our database. It's empty.